and going all over the place. And half the time, I don't even understand what the hell he's saying, to be quite honest with you. He just jumps off prompt. I don't know what the hell he's saying. But I do know this. If you are the governor of a state in the United States of America, you have no business across the pond or across the water, across the ocean, talking smack amongst foreign leaders about in-house business in the United States. Do that on American soil. You are not the commander-in-chief of this country. You are a governor of a state in the United States of America. And all I said about Gavin Newsom is, I didn't have an issue with anything he said about Trump. It was the forum in which he chose to say it. That was my issue with him. I know that wasn't supposedly the reason he was over there, and you're going to give me something about climate change, and I'll give the floor to you. My point is, you don't do that. It's America first. You don't do that on foreign soil. Talking to world leaders or trying to talk to world leaders on foreign soil, denigrating the president of the United States, no matter who the hell he is. You do that here. But when you over there, you don't do that. That was my issue. You took issue with that. The floor is yours.
So first, I want to say that, I want people to know that we do text back and forth. We call each other back and forth. And if there's something that's done or said or that we don't agree with, one of the first people who will call me if I do something that he doesn't agree with is Stephen A. Smith. And he calls me as my brother and he says, what the hell were you doing? What were you thinking? Why would you do that? Why would you say this? So when you said those things.
This is the real argument, not an insult, not politics, the form. When a governor goes global, it stops being state politics and becomes presidential optics. This isn't left versus right. It's a leadership optics, priorities, and whether public officials can separate criticism from the institution.
Gavin Newsom is there at the Economic Forum because California has the fourth largest GDP in the world. I didn't say in the United States, I said in the world. And so if you look at, they're ahead of places like Japan, India, other countries. He was there pushing, yes, green initiatives, but also the California economy. He had every right to be there. Now, the other reason that he was commenting about Donald Trump is because quite often, like you just said, he'll go off script and he will tell half-truths and things that are not true. And I mentioned to you that the foreign press fact-checked him. France 24, DW News in Germany, the BBC, everyone was fact-checking him on his speech about Greenland and the things he was saying about Greenland, which he confused with Iceland sometimes. But the point being is that Gavin Newsom was speaking in his rightful place in Switzerland, talking about what was happening there. And here's the other thing that's being forgotten. If Gavin Newsom said something on his podcast, if he said something sitting in the State House of California, hell, if he said something standing in a bean field in Fresno, it's going to go worldwide because there's a thing called the internet that makes everything worldwide. So it's not like sports when you say, keep it in the locker room, y'all. Right. I understand that. We both understand that. But this is a big difference because what he said went worldwide because he was on the world stage, but it would have gone worldwide if he had been sitting in the Capitol in Sacramento.
That's my point. Thank you for making my argument. He didn't need to go to hell over to Switzerland. I'm getting ready to tell you. He didn't need to go to hell over to Switzerland.
He was supposed to be in Switzerland.
Stephen A., there's a time and a place. Don't undermine U.S. abroad. Kevin, California is a global economy. Anything said anywhere is global now.
He was calling out foreign leaders, rather, talking about this call it for knee pads and how they're bowing down to this man. You know the world that we're living in. You know that you could do a podcast. You know that you could do a YouTube show that would be disseminated worldwide. You didn't have to go over there to do that. There's a time and a place for this stuff. And for him to be acting the way that he is acting towards Trump, you're basically trying to position yourself to be the 2028 Democratic nominee. You got a lot of people saying that that's what he's going to pull off. And the number one reason they're saying that he's going to do that is because of the behavior and the rhetoric that he's willing to exercise in that somewhat mimics what he's accusing Donald Trump of doing. So let me get this straight. This man, the president of the United States, I'm calling him a juvenile. I'm calling him classless. I'm calling him all of these things. So let me show the world I can be just like him, all right, in order to ingratiate myself with folks even more so. I don't think that's the wisest strategy to move forward. And most importantly, I'm like, wait a minute. Don't you have business in the state of California to be attending to? I mean, this is what blows me away about you. You live in the state of California, #1 in homelessness, #1 in state income taxes. You know how expensive it is out there. The affordability issue, fine. And to be fair to you, let me make sure, because I made sure I looked this up, okay? California leads the United States in economic output, technology, and population-driven metrics, boasting the nation's largest GDP at over $4 trillion, highest number of Fortune 500 companies, most active duty military personnel as well. I'm just reading right here for online. So I'm throwing all of that out to acknowledge what California brings to the table. But we're not talking about the state of California. We're talking about Gavin Newsom. We're talking about you covering the fires, the wildfires in the Palisades, and how stuff hasn't really been addressed when it comes to that. Not to mention affordability issue. Yes, exactly. Homes that haven't been rebuilt and all. Don't get me started. There's a lot of problems in California.
The real voter test is priorities plus competence. Foreign stage equals optic multipliers. If your home front is chaotic, every global appearance feels like branding.
Let me get started.
Somebody else. Go ahead.
Let me get started because I was in the Palisades during those fires. I covered them. I was there while the fires were still burning. As a matter of fact, day before yesterday, I sat with Spencer Pratt, the reality star, in his empty, vacant lot. His house burned down in that fire, and he can't rebuild. He can't afford to rebuild right now. I have 2 coworkers who lost everything, their home. My son's teammates. We were in the store buying basketball shorts and socks and T-shirts for one of his teammates when those fires are going on. I understand those fires better than most because I was there and I was in it and I've seen the destruction, but only all the other things that are going on in the past that are happening now in the future. People have forgotten about them. Here's what I say to you. All the people out there who pay California taxes, are you willing for a portion of your tax money to go to help these people who can't rebuild their homes, the people in Altadena, the people in the Pacific Palisades? Are you willing to have some of your money go towards that? Because everybody is bitching and screaming about the taxes and the other things while their neighbors are hurting right now. Their neighbors aren't able to rebuild. FEMA has been dismantled. So all these things that are there as safety nets, the insurance companies pulled out, they're not there now. So are you willing to help your fellow man, or are you more focused on, well, my taxes are high, I got to worry about me, because that's what this has become. Me and you.
That's where you and I get into it right there. That's where you and I get into it right here. Here's my problem, Kev. I get it. Our fellow men and women need to step up. I understand that. But let me ask you this. What's wrong with somebody saying, you know something? Homelessness, #1 in the nation. California's mid-tier housing, over $800,000, more than 2 times the typical U.S. mid-tier home. Poverty, cost of living adjusted for 2024 data. Census supplemental poverty measure shows California at 17.7%, one of the highest in the nation. Electricity prices amongst the highest in the nation. Gas prices routinely top 2 in the country in cost. And income tax rate, highest top marginal rate in America. What is wrong with a Californian going like this? Damn, you're taking a lot of our money already. What are you doing with it? I understand we could dig into our pockets and help.
I'm glad you brought that up.
What are you doing with the money? Don't you have billions of dollars in debt? Isn't that something that's pervasive in the state of California? What have you done to address that? These environmentalists, you've been at the mercy of them. Have you done something about that? What about those kind of questions? You're acting like Californians don't have a right to ask those questions. I say they do.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if you take facts and you twist them up and you make them kind of facts, then you can ride with those and you ride with that stuff. And that's the problem right now that's happening. People are twisting the facts and they're using them for their benefit. Let's take about what's happening with our tax dollars. But look, we pay a lot of taxes in California. We pay a lot of taxes, period.
This is a new political era. Everything is clipped. Everything is global. Leaders need execution credibility before the world stage credibility. Is Stephen A. right? This is a bad optics? Or is Kevin right? That we're living in a world where we say it doesn't matter anymore. If you like what you heard, hit the like and subscribe button.